good time?
Yeah.
Yay! Brilliant. Well, I have a couple of things to tell you about. One of the things is about a really cool project that I'm working on at the moment with Geisha, who's here in the audience, and with Eski, who's doing a Clean Coast event, because we are working on a project to connect people to nature and spend time outdoors and then feel much happier and much healthier. And a really cool way that you can get to do that is by going on a bat walk. Who here has been on a bat walk? Shout woo! Obviously I've been on loads of bat walks. But it's really, really cool because, you know, it's good for your health. You're out walking, you meet lots of people, you get a hold of bat detector in your hand so you hear the sounds that bats make. And what's even cooler about it is when everybody sees their first bat or hears it on the bat detector, no matter where they've come from or what they're doing, everybody goes, woo, all at once, all at the same time. And it's just that magical moment where everybody's just kind of transported out of themselves. And there's this little moment of joy, and they just go home with a totally different view of bats. Some people are quite scared of bats. And my first encounter with a bat was also with somebody who was terrified of bats, my granny. Now, some of you might be aware of the Flemings from Kerry who had a bat in their house very recently. My granny's bat did not have the nice happy ending story to its life that the bat from Kerry had. But I didn't realise that at the time, and my first ever encounter with a bat was what inspired me to love nature. And I decided, well, if I can't get my hands on a load of bats to study, I'll find some other animals. So I went to the nearest place, which was my granddad's barn, and of course there were rats in the barn. So I thought, brilliant! This is fine until my granddad discovered that I was studying a population of rats in the barn and got to with the rats. My next study into animal behaviour didn't go down that well either because my cousins got fleas from the hedgehogs, so my auntie evicted them. That was the bat study. So I started to think, what animal could I come up with next that would be big enough that my family couldn't do any harm to it? What's a really big animal? Nice big mammal? Elephants. So I thought, okay, where do I go to study elephants? I go to Africa. Okay. I have to do something before that, so I thought, right, I'm in Ireland. Next biggest mammal that I could think of in Ireland, deer. So I went to Phoenix Park in Dublin, which for those of you who aren't familiar with Dublin, it's the largest enclosed city park, and there are a lot of fallow deer. So when my parents were trying to describe to people what I did for my research and my PhD, they said, oh, she runs around after the deer. She minds the deer. What they couldn't tell people, because they were quite reserved and quite Catholic, was that I spent a lot of time standing behind a telescope or a video recorder watching a lot of deer have sex. Sometimes not just deer, but I won't say that. So, I went to Africa, really delighted, you know, I had all my qualifications, I thought, fantastic. I know how to study animal behaviour. What research in Ireland, particularly in the Phoenix Park in Dublin, had not prepared me for was one particular thing that is quite a big feature of life in Africa. Anybody think what that might be? Not just snakes, no, it was kind of more the big yellow thing in the sky. I could not cope with the heat. That was the end of my elephant study. So I went to England and got a job working for the Government Agency for Nature Conservation, and a whole other world started. And what was really, really mad about that was that every day was different. Like somebody might say, I need help because there's a badger that keeps pooing on our school playground and we can't let the kids go out to play. Seriously, this really wasn't. This isn't made up, I wish it was in lots of ways. And then sometimes people might ring up with slightly more serious ones where they say, well, we've got more kids and the only other place that we can put a bedroom is in the loft, but the loft is also home to a really large roost of very rare bats, so what do we do? And occasionally we also got to do really cool things like go out and study like rare frogs that had just been reintroduced to the east of England. Now, you don't reintroduce animals just by the day. You have to fill out lots of license applications, permits, You fill out reports for the country you're taking the animal from and the country you're bringing it into, and then you get everything registered with the police. All the animals are chipped and tagged, and everybody is sorted. So then you go out to survey your site and see how the animals are doing. So I was going out to our secret woodland site that nobody knew about, and the car broke down, so I had to get a replacement car. That was fine. I was still in time to go and study the frogs. And I got out there. It was a lovely evening. And you can kind of picture the sun is starting to set, this nice light filtering through the woodland. And there were frogs calling. You can hear them kind of croaking. It's a bit like good, wise. And then the next thing, making a beeline for them through the pond water is a grass snake swimming straight for them. And I'm standing there looking at the two frogs thinking, if you don't stop looking at each other, you're going to be eaten. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I really panicked because I knew I shouldn't interfere. And I was panicking, though, kind of going, how do we answer to the Swedish government that we've lost two of their really rare frogs straight away? So I started to phone my colleague. And the next thing, all hell broke loose because lights came on. The voices behind me said, stop, stop. And I looked, and it was the police. And I thought, I'm not doing anything to the frogs. And apparently what had happened was because it was a different car edge, somebody had seen it and they'd seen me coming into the woods with all my gear, and they must have thought I was, I was going to have an illegal rave all by myself in my ghetto blaster. So, anyway, I ended up back in Galway, and one of the things that I started to do was volunteer with the Galway Bat Group. And you go out on lots of walks with community groups, and after one I got a call, Caitriona, we've got an injured bat and we need you to kind of come and do something about it. And I was thinking, what happened? Did it meet a cat? And kind of thought, there's not a happy end to this story. They said, we put it in a box for you. Now, what I didn't tell you earlier on about bats is that they are actually really small. That's not, the bats in Ireland, anyway. That's small for pipistrelle. That's small for a lizards. The lizards is the largest bat in Ireland, so we don't really have big bats in Ireland at all. And they gave me the box with the bat in it. The box was the size of like kind of a reef of A4 sheet papers. So you could have fitted probably several hundred bats in this box. But the people had very kindly put a branch in, and the bat was hanging, or as they thought, would be able to hang from the branch. What they didn't realise was there's only one species in Ireland that hangs freely upside down, and this definitely wasn't one of those kind of bats. And I took the box and I started to walk towards the vet, and as I was crossing the road I could hear this kind of scrabbling sound. I thought, oh, that's a bit unusual. And I looked, and on the outside of the on the outside of the box was the bat. So as I continued crossing the road, trying not to panic, kind of trying to shove the bat back into the box, went into the vet and said, I have a bat in this box, I think the vet needs to put the bat down. And they looked at me and they said, are you sure there's a bat in the box? And I thought, oh flip, have I lost the bat? Is the bat somewhere back down the road? But no, they were just looking at the box, kind of going, there's definitely not a bat in there, it must be a bird. So they took the box, they said, we'll get the vet to check and make sure it's a bat. I said, okay, thanks. They came back to me and went, yes it is, it's definitely a bat. And I went, and you're right, yeah, it had to be put down. Really, and I was like, no, that was the best thing to do, thank you. And I said, I'll take the body now. No, why do you want the dead body? And I said, well, I do walks and talks with people, and it's really cool because you get to show them a dead bat, and they can see what a bat looks like up really close. And what's even better about it is that you can actually distinguish bats by some of their features. For example, their teeth or their penises. And if you had a live bat in the hand, that probably wouldn't be so easy. I don't know why you're laughing. Some bats have pink penises, some bats have orange penises, some bats have spiny penises. I don't have time to tell you anything more about the penises, you just have to come on a bat walk.